Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Matthew Marx. Matthew Marx is CEO and co-founder of Evocalize, developers of the Evocalize collaborative marketing platform. Evocalize technology connects businesses to execute marketing programs together that are not possible on their own. Matt has spent over 20 years at the intersection of marketing and technology and has a particular passion for using technology to make great marketing simple. Prior to founding Evocalize, Matt served on the senior leadership team for Austin-based marketing technology company Bizarre Voice, with London-based strategy consultancy PA Consulting Group, and with Oracle's retail software group. Matt has helped set advertising standards with the Interactive Advertising Bureau in New York and has an MBA from Babson College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. Well, good afternoon, Matthew. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brian. Super excited to be here.
Absolutely. As well as I'm super excited to be hosting you on the show today. We're going to talk about some great stuff you've done in your career, but also really just hear your story and turn around and share it with our great audience. So, Matthew, let's jump into the questions. Let's talk about a little bit about your career. You started out as a developer, director in technology, and now you're the CEO of Evocalize. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I think for me, inspiration is motivation, right? And so to me, I'm really inspired by attributes of people, right? So if I think about ingenuity, perseverance, grit, and brilliance. And so really, to me, I'm inspired by people. And in particular, people that are, when confronted by a problem, step up and try and find a way against all odds to solve it. For me personally, that story rings true in my small corner of the world. You start a company and everyone tells you you're crazy. For us, we started a marketing technology company, Evocalize, and people come out of the woodwork, and you have to push through the negative comments and ideas. Marketing technology and that industry that we're in is confusing, and there's a lot of kind of chaos in there, and so to me, I'm inspired by people who aren't afraid to fail, who push through obstacles, and solve a real problem that exists.
That's awesome. And, inspiration, especially, I've talked to so many entrepreneurs on this podcast, is that inspiration and that passion is like a wildfire. It's gasoline on a hot match. It just really is interesting to hear it, and you can hear it in your voice as you speak too, as well as many of the guests I've been on the show. So thank you for sharing that, Matthew. I do appreciate that. So Matt, as you know, everybody globally has had to make these major shifts and pivots and innovate, and hopefully, masks will be coming off more regularly now. Hopefully the CDC will kind of provide some more guidelines, but maybe you could share with us what you've done this past 13 months to help your company stay relevant in this economy.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I think, on that note, the first thing I'd like to just express are prayers and thoughts for India right now at this moment in time. They're going through a terrible surge, and I have friends and their families over there. So I just want to express thoughts and prayers to them. For us, we've developed technology that we call a collaborative marketing platform, and it helps folks to help their partners work with their networks and their collaborative partners to run marketing programs that are digital marketing programs that are push button simple, but yet still sophisticated and powerful. And so for us, COVID, as terrible as it is, has really moved local marketers and local advertisers who've been reticent, hesitant, or hadn't had the tools to achieve digital marketing success. It's moved them a long way. We've gone, I think, 10 years in the span of about a year in terms of digitization of the local marketer and local marketers environment. And just to put a couple numbers on that. So even going into the pandemic timeframe, national marketers, big brands, direct to consumer brands that were sophisticated and had lots of data to use to market, they were spending about 70% of their dollars on digital marketing and about 30% on traditional or radio, TV, print. And local marketers going into the pandemic were about the opposite. They were spending about 30% of their dollars in digital means and about 70% on traditional. And that's primarily because they didn't have the tools to do it. COVID has really started to shift that. And I mentioned the acceleration that has come out of the pandemic. But, gosh, necessity is the mother of invention in a lot of ways, right? And so when you're trying to drive demand into your local business, into your restaurant, into your real estate business, into your store, and you don't have a physical way to do that, people aren't walking by the street and reading the sign. You need to come up with ways to do that. And I think one of the things we've done, we're proud of that, is helped local businesses transition themselves with our unique technology to digital ROI positive marketing.
I love that. And you're right. Depending on the industry, you'd mentioned advancing 10 years in the span of a year. In some cases, I would wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Some other cases, it might just be a year or two or three, but still, we all know, as you said, necessity is the invention of, I can't even
the mother of invention. Yeah, for sure.
There you go. But so seriously, the shifts that we've all made and advancements in innovation has just been simply amazing. And I can attest to that because of the many guests that have been on the show here that talked about some of the things they're doing as far as tech or some other type of innovation. So thanks again. And Matt, let's talk a little bit more. I know this is a tech platform. You've been in tech, so maybe we can share some stuff around tech, but you're obviously leveraging some new and emerging technologies in your tech stack. Is there anything you might be able to share with us today?
Yeah, they do a few tech pieces, Brian, here, parts of our stack that I'll talk about. They're helping us move faster, be more stable, be more agile. The first of those is Kotlin. So we're largely a Kotlin-based shop, which, if you're familiar with Kotlin, is a development language that's interoperable with Java, and it makes we've increased our rate of development by about 30%. By moving most of our development from Java to Kotlin. So that's a kind of piece of core tech that we're using and advancing. GraphQL, I think on the system interoperability front, lets our front end developers kind of decide what to use out of a data payload and kind of decouples them from the backend engineering function a little bit. And then I'll say in the cloud front, everyone talks about cloud, but I'll say specifically serverless and Lambdas have been a great way for us to do things that like integrate with our partners' APIs and let our partners integrate with our APIs where processing is required. And so those are some core foundational technologies that we utilize. Of course, we're multi-cloud and everything else needed in a high-scale environment. But the other piece of tech I'll say is a little different, and that's our technology. We're actually an emerging piece of technology for lots of companies. You may have hopefully podcasters that come on, our guests that come on the podcast and talk about our tech as being a core piece of their stack, kind of like Stripe is for payments for lots of e-commerce sites. We are embedded technology for many technology companies and businesses that use us to accelerate development, to digitize and democratize marketing integrated within their stack. So kind of a twist on your question, but Evocalize is also a kind of core embedded technology for many businesses today.
I love that. And I really do. I kind of geek out in a sense when we start talking tech. Obviously, Matt, our backgrounds align. And it's just great to share because we have a lot of technologists that listen to the podcast. And so a lot of great ideas and different thoughts and questions actually come out of this. So thank you. And Matt, could you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in tech or leadership?
Yeah, great question. So the first bit of advice I'll say that's helped me is staying flexible and finding what you're good at, finding what you're great at, and more importantly, finding what you love, and really don't take your time, right? If you're young in your career and you're just starting out, take your time, figure it out, do lots of things, because what you love is what you'll end up being great at, because you'll spend the time to learn it. Brian, like you and I talk about tech, right? I love tech, and I'm decent at it, right? And I'm decent at solving problems, and I'm decent at innovating, right? Because I love it. I like to create new things that should exist but don't. And so, to me, it took me a while as you kind of reread the stages of my career growth. I've started out as an engineer. I've been a product manager. I've been in the venture capital space. I've been in client success, and finally kind of leading a company, and raising venture capital and the whole bit. And each one of those is a different type of thing. And I'll tell you without hesitation, I love the inventive piece of the puzzle the most. And so to me, the greatest suggestion I could give anyone starting out or going through the career is to do, everyone says this, but it's so true. And it's hard to grasp when you're just starting out. Do what you love, because you will be great at it, because you will spend the time to be great at it. So I'll say that's the kind of seminal learning of my twisty and turny career trajectory.
I love it. And I have a similar career. I've kind of traversed different industries and did some different things in tech that were just fun. And it has really kind of built me, and I would say in my character. So I think that's really cool. And it's a great story to share. So Matt, it was a pleasure having you on today. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Bye for now.